To become a popular web host takes much more effort than just turning on the webcam and singing into a microphone. Lulu airs her show from noon to 3 p.m. and 6 to 9 p.m. every day. She usually gets up at 7:30 each morning to learn new songs, search for short comedies on the internet, and do makeup. She says a lot of her prep work is similar to doing campus radio.
You have to be well prepared, just like getting your script ready. Many of us on YY will collect some jokes or comedies ahead, because fans would not always have so much to talk to you about. When there are no topics and I get tired after singing a long time, I will tell them jokes.
On the way to work, Lulu uses her time to check and reply to messages her fans leave for her on several social networks. Lulu does her webcasting in a studio that her guild provides for free. Guilds used to refer to online gaming groups, but now there are talent agencies that contract and train internet artists. Every web host on YY has to sign a contract with a guild, which is responsible for training the artists to use the equipment and put a show together. Manager Lin Xihao worked for a talent company for several years before spotting the internet's potential for creating stars.
互联网造星方式跟传统造星方
The
式
difference is that traditional star making is an idol economy, whereas internet star making is what we call a fan economy. In the traditional way, the more distance the star keeps from the fans, the more mysterious he or she appears, and the more eager the fans are to discover. But a fan economy is that the closer the star and the fans are, the more quickly he or she will grow.
是距离越近，它成长速度越快。
Outside of each studio, guild staff members closely monitor each of their talents' performances and fan feedback. Staffers will consult with the performers on things they need to improve, the style they should cultivate, and good ideas they can borrow from other guilds.
互联网演艺是一个比较新颖的行业。
Internet entertainment is a very new industry. Many artists who are new to the field perhaps can't get used to it immediately. From a stage to a little room, a singer is no longer facing a live audience, but merely a computer, a webcam, and a small microphone. In the old days, a singer only needed to sing well, a comedian only needed to talk well. But being an internet performer is more like being a combination of a singer, a talk show host, and a director.
歌手、主持以及一个场控的一个结合。
The web host has the highest status and most authority in the system settings of her channel. She's symbolized by a purple vest. Under her are other vests ranked in the order of orange, yellow, red, and blue. The host can assign these positions to her most loyal fans or biggest contributors, who are then granted certain privileges and roles in the channel. A housekeeper is responsible for monitoring visitors' language and behavior. He has the authority to kick somebody out of the channel if that person offends the host or other audience members. Cheerleaders try to bring more visitors to the channel, promote their host, and keep an active atmosphere going during the show. Fundraisers will solicit gifts from visitors and persuade the rich ones to make big contributions. All of the positions are recruited from loyal fans by the host, and their efforts are voluntary.
我觉得他们都是第一个是早期都是比较喜欢玩游戏的，然后呢比较年轻，对，然后呢
first of all, there were early gamers, young and anti-tradition. They don't like to be told who is a star and who is not. They like to think, hey, I like this person. I grow with her. In fact, we've made a huge change in the music industry. In the old days, only celebrities had fans, meaning you had to become famous before having fans. But we made a huge change. You now need to have fans and reach a certain scale before becoming famous. We reversed the logic.
就是说，你要先有粉丝，你积累你的粉丝量到一定的规模，你才能够成名。
YY has tens of thousands of guilds that contract with web hosts. Among them, the guild known as 2080 is considered the most legendary by many internet singers. 2080 founder Ye Fei, or Cabbage, started out as a passionate gamer and music lover on YY. He was among the first to run music channels on the platform and now manages more than 1,000 artists across the country.
I heard that even many traditional entertainers had problems with making enough to eat. But by using the internet, they can first make a decent living and use the money to cultivate themselves. That solves their income issues, at least during their early career.
Cabbage's Guild has successfully packaged the singing and love story of a couple group known as 土哥 and Lin Xihao and put them on the national stage.
So YY is a great example of this increasingly popular media notion called we media, meaning that an individual no longer needs a media platform, traditional one, to publish his or her own content, right? Anybody could just log online and do whatever they have in their bags. But how is it different? Tell me about the differences between a traditional media platform and a we media platform.
Right, Tracy, that's a great question. I think this notion of we media has become very popular in China, especially in the last couple of years. It's different from traditional media, at least along several dimensions. The first dimension is it significantly lowers the entry barrier. So as you mentioned, in the era of we media, everyone can be a content provider and can release content without having to relying on a specific outlet. Whereas if you think about traditional media, it clearly segregates between content provider and the audience. It's taking a top-down approach, but we media basically just levels the playing field among everybody.
Is YouTube an example of we media too?
I would think so, yes. Okay, yes. And a second dimension of difference is the fact that we media basically emphasize more on personal branding. So what makes a particular show or program popular and successful in this we media era is actually the personal branding as well as the content the host is providing. So it's less reliant on the particular outlet or particular channel or platform. And I think another dimension of difference is the fact that we media is more interactive in nature. So the traditional media is a one-way communication.
That's right.
Whereas in we media, it's a two-way dialogue. And oftentimes what you broadcast on these online platforms actually depends on the user's preference and demand. So the viewers and users will tell you what they want to look at, and then the host or the performers will basically put on the show.
So Professor Zhao, we talked about this before. YY is clearly a very talent-driven business, right? But as their artists get more famous, they have the risk of losing these talents. But how does a company like YY fight its competitors to keep its talents?
Right. Every company is worried about losing its star employees at some point. So basically, this competition is unavoidable. But to fend off competition, I think there are several things or strategies YY can do. One is try to increase the length of a contract, and also try to increase that revenue sharing percentage with the talent, and also to basically provide additional value-added services so that the host or the performers want to stay with YY. But I think at the end of the day, what matters the most is having this right corporate culture, so that the talent want to stay with this agency or want to stay with this platform.
So building a very pleasant environment
and corporate culture, I think that's very important.
The talents. That's a really good point. Well, YY might be the future of the entertainment world, but the company also faces many challenges and competitions. Let's find out about that when we return.